Fuck yeah. Yo, yo, yo. I'm digging the red lighting here. Fuck yeah. Nighttime is the right time, baby doll. Just doing a little Freaky Friday in the Earlverse. Pumping out those shorts. Please watch the shorts. I would rather have that than a super chat. Daddy Man is in the house, Dr. Nova. I'm just chilling. Let me readjust my chair. All right, there we go. What up, Ryan? ACDC in the fucking house. We'll be at the Comedy Store tomorrow night, 12:15. On the button, Slick. So if you're local, hit me up. I don't think too many people are local in the Earlverse. That's all right. I'm kind of digging it. Like I turned the TV off, so we've got the the ambiance. This is the right lighting that I like. Yes, it's definitely got the lighting of a bathhouse. So hopefully, I mean, I can't really do this lighting in the daytime, although I did look at a condo the other day. Ironically enough, 50 feet from my sister's house. That the guy must be a musician because he turned a third of the garage into a sound studio. So, but there's some issues with that condo. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere near Dodger Stadium. I mean, that area, the traffic on a Friday night's bad anyway. What a great game. I tuned in right as the guy hit the homer. And as an Angel fan, I was kind of hoping Ohtani would hit into a double play, but congrats to the Dodgers. This has the earmarks of a 7-game series. Yes, it is. I love this lighting. So, are you a Yankee guy, Ryan? I mean, I'm not really a baseball guy. I kind of quit after. I really stopped watching baseball after Dave Parker left Cincinnati. I just kind of really got into hockey. But yes, who knows? This may be the new lighting, but I also know that doing a what time is it now? 9:14 on a Friday night. The views will be limited, but we got my favorites in here, so that's all I can hope for. Well, it's going to be a tight series. I don't know much. I mean, I know the Dodgers payroll is bloated. I'm sure the Yankees payroll's up there with probably the two highest payrolls in the game. So it's a fair World Series. I can't say I was a Cub fan because my dad was friends with Happy Williams, who was the owner of the Reds before Marge shot. So Jordan got me a very nice autographed picture of Dave Parker from that lunch. Am I going up against Kevin Brennan? I don't think he'll mind that I'm stealing 6 people from him. Yeah, I really do like the red. But how I get this color is the TV is off. Everything is pitch black in my downstairs area. So, and I will be going on MLC Monday. And a lot of people have DM'd me going, well, why are you going on MLC? I thought you hate the Dabbleverse. I do. But I respect Kevin so much as a comic that I don't mind, going on his show from time to time. Yeah, I mean, Rogan and Trump, that was, I didn't watch it yet, but I mean, Joe is, he's the man right now in the podcasting world. So and a smart move for Trump. He knows it's going to be a friendly interview, and there's no one who has Joe's reach. So I think listen, it's fucking tight, man. Yeah, I mean, it should be fun. I mean, I've kind of let them know I don't really want. It's either going to be really fun or boring because I don't want to talk about steel toe or any of these other fucking people. It's just not interesting to me. So, but Kevin entertains me more than anyone in the dabble land. So we'll see. I mean, if it doesn't work out, I just won't go on again. So yeah, I mean, 2 shows by Brennan. I mean, that's I mean, I don't know how he does it. I don't know how Win by Two does 4 to 5 hour streams. I don't know, Melton me. Well, I think he put it this way. I think he'd be more favorable towards Trump than Kamala Harris. I love me some Randall Tex Cobb, man, who is unfindable at the moment. By the way, I've procured my next Inappropriate Earl podcast guest. If you like hockey, you will be psyched. If you don't like hockey, you probably won't care, to be frank. But the first week of November, Stanley Cup champion and one of the great tough guys of all time, the great Chris Knuckles Nyland I spoke with him on the phone today, and man, I was a 12-year-old boy. He was one of my favorite fighters. I'm going live. Oh, is Rogan and Trump on right now? Well, fuck it. That's why I have 6 people in here. But it's content. I'm just trying. It's my goal to get at least one video, short, live, whatever, on YouTube. So, this is, this is how I do it. Obviously, I would love to see 2 zeros after that 8, but since I'm not a hot girl with big tits, it's going to take me a little while longer to grow the channel. Maybe the red background is. I mean, the shorts aren't doing terribly well, to be honest with you. I mean, that's the one thing I love about YouTube. You can't really lie and say, "Oh, my video's killing it." Your video's got 102 views. That ain't killing it. But I have finally figured out how to edit the shorts myself, and I'm throwing shit against the wall and seeing what works. It looks like I'm doing this live hot sauna, but it's just a neon red sign done by Radical Neon. And well, I mean, but how I'm assuming Rogan was like 3 hours. Yeah, I mean, that would be funny if I just had a girl with big tits standing, but like behind me, but not saying anything. And believe me, I've thought about that. But then I've got to pay the girl. I'm not doing this shit at a loss. The Earlverse streams are great because they're free for me to put out. Maybe if I hit a hot night with super chats or whatever, I can make a few bucks. Put in the till. But I'm not paying a girl $1,000. I know what these twats charge, and lose money. I'm sure. I mean, that would be pretty funny though. Just have a girl with giant tits standing or sitting right there, and not even saying a word. She just stares. Trust me, there's girls who would do that for 1,000 hooves. I mean, sex sells, baby dolls. And I mean, those hot girl and Earl videos I did for that horrible network, please, nobody go look them up because I don't get $1 from that shit. I think I had one that had 4 million views. I probably did like 8 to 10 videos and total probably 14 to 15 million views. Yes, that Ace Frehley, the song "Cherry Medicine." Those girls should be getting Oscars for acting like they were aroused by Ace Frehley. Oh, I can't. Well, see, I don't know how to do that shit, William Zoom. That would be funny if I just had an AI or whatever, a girl with giant tits right there, and it means nothing. It's just there. Yes, that Comedy Store picture was from election night 2016, and kind of a funny story behind it. So on stage was Russell Peters, Bert Kreischer, Joe Rogan, Bill Burr, Hinchcliffe, Tripoli, Sarah Tiana, couple people I didn't really realize. I think they were in Stanhope's crew. He travels with a real nomad crew, and I'm in the kitchen. I'm not even watching the fucking show, and all of a sudden, Stanhope's manager, the great Brian Hennigan, who's been a guest on Inappropriate Earl. Um, he grabs me by the arm and I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "You got to get on stage." I'm like, "I don't think this stage needs Earl." He's like, "No, no, man, it's getting boring up there. We need some new blood." And he's literally dragging me through the crowd, drags me through backstage, and pushes me on stage. And I just remember Bill Burr going like this, kind of like, "Who the fuck are you?" And luckily, someone from the crowd was like, "Thank God it's Skakel." And then, I got in a few zingers, not many, but I got a few in. Um, so, well, maybe I'll talk to Kip Smith. He seems to be that way. I'm going to try that out. I'm going to uh, start putting girls with giant tits in the thumbnail and see if that helps. I mean, who knows? Kip Smith, can you make me a Earlverse thumbnail with just a girl with big tits? I mean, fuck it, why not, right? I mean, what are you gonna do? Uh, SCBI Earl, I like to go. No, Brian Callen was not on stage that night. Not with me, anyway. Who would win a battle royal? Tugboat, Earthquake, probably Earthquake in One Man Gang, of course, later became Akeem. My brother. Um, Earthquake was a legit sumo guy, so he was and you often hear of Haku um, being like the one guy that no one would fuck with, but John Tenta, aka Earthquake, and Typhoon, I think in WCW. Um, he was rumored to be like, you don't want to get on his bad side. Yeah, I know Rush Kip Smith. I mean, I'm just trying to I would just be curious to see if I put up, instead of an AI with me and like the one you did with Twisted Sister or all the ones you've done, if we just had one with like maybe call it the Earline verse or something. I'm a marketer. I'm very curious as to um, what works and what doesn't work. But at your leisure, Kip Smith, you've certainly done enough. Yeah, Haku was, there's all kinds of urban legend stories about Haku. Like he'd fight 5, 6 guys at one time. I probably Neil Hamburger, maybe. I don't know, but I know what you're saying. I never got that joke. So, Hamburger. I don't know. I don't really keep up with what other comics are doing. I'm a soldier. I'm too busy trying to keep up what I'm doing. Um, so yes, Chris Nyland, Montreal Canadiens. He was also on the Boston Bruins and played, I think, 2 seasons for uh, the New York Rangers. He was on the Rangers in the era of Michel Petit, Bob Froese in goal with John Van Beesbrook, Randy Moeller, that era. I keep it real, Dr. Nova. Where is Peter Chicken Man, Brennan? It's usually about time he checks in. Or is he in the MLC stream? Can someone go on the MLC stream and post I'm live? Maybe we could pick off some listeners. Whatever it takes, baby doll. Um, and go on the Rogan Trump stream. What if someone posted Earl Skakel's live in the Trump stream and I got like 10,000 people in here? Uh, No, no, I want a hot girl, and no exes to be used in the thumbnail. We don't involve them in my, hijinks. Um, but, a hot, maybe Petra Verkijk. She had some lovely, memories, if you know what I'm saying. Let me spell that name for you, Petra Verkijk. I just wanna see if William zooms. Mm, sex sells, to be honest with you. No, no, please, not Sandra Bernard. I wanna get the numbers up, William, not lower. Uh, I mean, it's anything. You don't even have to have me in a Kip Smith. Maybe just a hot chick. Forget me. Just make one with Petra Verkijk. No, Amy Schumer. Although I've dated girls who look like Amy Schumer. And it's funny, there's another picture of that night from the Comedy Store backstage. Um, I'll see if I can find it where it's probably a group photo of all of Stanhope's crew: Rogan, Burr, Morgan Murphy, Tiana, and I'm have my arm around a woman who, let's just say, has had a fall from grace. Sorry, I got a booger in my eye. I mean, William, I'll do whatever. I mean, maybe, I don't know. You guys have free reign. I don't know, what I really want, to be honest with you, but, I mean, I know that I've done some research on what to put in the title, certain, that's why I go when I do a stream on Monday night, I go Monday Night Raw, thinking maybe I'm trying to dupe wrestling fans into hitting the stream. Uh, okay, yeah, Sydney Sweeney. Maybe me and Sydney Sweeney. I'd be down to be in a picture with her. I mean, I know no one would know who Petra Verkijk is, but I do. Uh, I mean, I dated a girl for about a year who looked like Amy Schumer. You like who you like. You vibe with who you vibe. So um, that's the thing. I don't really have a type. If I mean, you guys know who all my exes are. I mean, for the most part, if you are like a super Earl fan and you've followed me since about 2014, I've had one that I would say, Lois's mom kind of was, looked like Pink with long hair, and ironically enough, they're from the same hometown, and then I dated the one girl who looked just like, Julia Roberts, like a hotter Julia Roberts, and then the next girl kinda looked like Amy Schumer, and then, the next girl looked like Miley Cyrus, and, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, I don't think she ever really worked out. I mean, Amy Schumer, that is. So, I mean, she's too busy working, So, oh, I'm sure. Mary Lou Henner, she's the girl with that disease that I think I have. No, Pink, is from Doylestown, Pennsylvania. So, Gail, who is Lois's mom, or I guess real mom, whatever. She actually used to work at the same bar Pink worked at. I think the person you are referencing, William, looks like Miley Cyrus with longer hair. Uh, that was Gail. Chris Storin, the great Northern California, now residing in Vegas, comic, is in the stream. So I still talk to Gail. So I mean, I have to. We share a dog, which is crazy. That shows you how old Lois is. Four girlfriends. Yes, she is from Doylestown, Pennsylvania, and I believe Whitney looked exactly like Julia Roberts, a prettier version. I mean, Whitney is stunning. Um, and then the one after Whitney is the one who looked like Amy Schumer, and then the woman from the 256 to me looked like Miley Cyrus with much longer hair. So, but then we're not talking about exes in here. This isn't the X verse, although that would be funny. I mean, I know, no, no, Jesus, bro. Uh, I think a girl who I was associated with in a roast battle, um, Grace, uh, kind of had that Amy Schumer, that thicker girl vibe. Um, uh, I think Chandler would have a heart attack if she thought I was saying she looked like Amy Schumer. Um, I'm already behind the eight ball. Um, but the point of this conversation was, "What up? Are you ready to rock?" Was that I don't really have a type. I'm a vibe. I got along at one point with all those girls, and they all look dramatically different. I mean, if you put all those girls we just talked about, um, I bet you did, Chris. I probably fucked her after you. You know how it is in the world of stand-up comedy. Everyone fucks everyone. Hey, if this girl fucks Skakel, she'll fuck me. You fucking losers. Um, well, I know those two girls have the what is it, Guys We Fucked podcast, where they interview guys they fucked. I mean, and it's like a huge podcast. But yeah, if I had a stream or podcast called the Xverse, I think I would have problems getting the majority of them. It might just be Gail on every episode, but that's all right. That's all right. Um, so I'm much more personality. I mean, although, yeah, I like big tits. I've certainly dated plenty of women who had no tits. How about a new podcast called the Gangbang Archive? I mean, I'd have to track down Shelby somewhere. I mean, you talk about going off the grid, baby doll. Um, she just disappeared into the moonlight. I mean, I literally haven't seen her in Jesus 25 years. I mean, that happened in the I think mid to late not 90s, late 90s maybe. Cynthia Shelby, where art thou? And the crazy thing is, if you look her up, or if you look up Carol Shelby on Wikipedia, she's never really mentioned, but I know she was married to him. So, I mean, just on the roast battle girl alone, I'd have 700 guests. I had a guy tonight tell me about hooking up with her, and like, what? I mean, this is 7 years after I dated this twat. So you know, that would be a podcast. Oh my god. Do you know Red Bar? I mean, we're not like friends, but I mean, we're online friends. We've spoken before. I may have been a source of some intel for him. I mean, his podcast, I love him. He's the goat of. He's really the what would you say? The innovator of streams that break down other streamers. Um, but his shows are too long. I can't. I mean, I think he does like 6, 7, 8 hour shows. Like that's unbelievable to me. I mean, we're at 23 minutes and I'm already planning my exit strategy. Uh, well, I think with Red Bar, uh, he is he's authentic. Whether you like what he says or not. If he does a video about Tony, it's because he don't like Tony. You're friends with Sam. I don't really have enemies. I mean, he's definitely not friends with Jeff. And I don't even think he knows who the roast battle comic I don't like. He wouldn't even know that guy is. He would have no idea who that guy was. I mean, but Red Bar is king of. You might even say he's he didn't start the Dabbleverse per se, but Uh, you know, he is definitely probably the OG of clip shows, clippers. I mean, I watched his Kill Tony documentary. It's like 4 fucking hours, man. Um, the one untold fact from Argus's head that you'd likely to know is how many people called Lester from Willie Tyler and Lester the N word. I mean, Red Bar is not for everyone, but he is very good with the tech side, and his, I believe it's his wife, Jules. She seems to be a good foil for him to bounce stuff off of live. Um, Red Bar has got moles everywhere, so if something goes down, he's going to find out about it first. Um, I mean, I watch clips of him. I watch clips of everyone. I duck in and out. I can't watch, um, full on 2-3 hour streams. I just can't, man. But God love the people who do. Like I said, Melton, Red Bar, Win by Two. John. Um, Kevin doing 2 streams today. So yeah, but it's good to have I think a foil to your voice. It's like when I've had female guests or co-hosts, I think it worked because here I am, this deep growl. Well, Calrissian, did he survive the micro freeze? And then you have a pretty girl's voice. I think it worked. I did meet Louis Anderson. I was in Louis Anderson's house. The first meeting I went to when I was a staff writer on the Ian Bagg show, I did not know whose house it was, but it was Louis Anderson's house. And he was just chilling in the kitchen in his underwear, making a sandwich. Red Bar did a black guy voice. Yeah, he don't give a fuck. Red Bar is a guy who you can't cancel. What are you going to cancel? He doesn't act. He's not really a comic, so you can't cancel a gig or whatever. He's in the perfect position to talk shit, put his name behind it, and what are you going to do? Even if you got him taken off of YouTube or whatever, I'm going to assume he has a website, and then you just watch the show on that. You're making me like. Well, no, I'm not. I'm not telling anyone who to like anyone. Yeah, tell me about it. So, I'm just saying, like, some people are cucks to, YouTube or, whatever. You can't say certain words because YouTube will take you off of it, or you can't, do certain stuff, or Spotify won't put you on. And, Red Bar is in a great position of doing what he wants. No, I was way too old for Sweet Lou. But Louis was always gracious to me. I mean, he was basically the financial backer of the Ian Bagg show, which, we had to pay guests. We had guests on like Dr. Ken and Daniel Tosh. And it's really too bad the show didn't take off, because the Ian Bagg show was really Tosh 2.0 before Tosh 2.0. But no, I don't think Louis did. I'm a straight guy. So, which is in demand. You always want what you can't have. But, luckily I'm into women. So, but Louis was a good man. He just, was a fan of Ian Bagg, so he helped us out a lot. I mean, he paid for us all to go to the Vancouver Comedy Festival. He didn't have to do shit like that. Not really. I mean, he liked me. You think you're very funny. Don't ever stop. And he would go on the show. Like, we used to do it at the Hermosa Magic Club, and then we moved it to the Beverly Hills Friars Club. And Louis did the first couple shows just to make sure, and he invited all his industry friends. So he was a big fan of the show, and the show should have. I'm not sure. I wasn't privy to the meetings they took, and I don't know why it didn't get a run on television. But it was a very, very odd and unique writing staff. You had me, Brian Irwin, Patrick Keane. If you were a comedy connoisseur, you know who Patrick is. Um, and a real creepy guy by the name of Johnny Doom. He'd come up with the darkest ideas. And then Ian is like the king of crowd work. And, it was just a really fun experience. Yeah, he had a residency at the Excalibur. You ever watch Dice live? Yeah, I mean, no, it wasn't the first comedy concert I went to. That was Gallagher at the Wiltern. The second comedy concert in like an arena type situation or theater was a Dice at the Wiltern. I remember the Kings were playing the Calgary Flames that night, so I couldn't get any of my friends to go because they wanted to watch hockey. So I went by myself, sat stage left, front row, and it was awesome. Like this is prime Dice. Like he couldn't have been any bigger than he was in '88 at the Wiltern. Next year Fort Fairlane came out, so just I won't say Dice is the reason I wanted to do comedy, but like when I saw him live, I think that was even though I didn't start for another 10 years, it was wow, I wouldn't mind doing this. It was like seeing Kiss, the leather pants, the outfits, the spectacle. Would you dress and drag like Louis did on that TV show? I mean, well, I know I was sitting pretty far back for Gallagher. I was in like the balcony. If you've ever been to the Wiltern, it's a fairly large theater. I would say 3,000 maybe. And I was deep into the balcony. Oh yeah, I mean, but see, I don't care about shit like that. Um, listen, this probably isn't breaking news, but a lot of people don't like Tony. So, and Tony don't care. But when someone like Red Bar kind of locks in, I mean, I don't know how Tony feels about that, but you know, Red Bar is relentless. You think Melton is relentless? Red Bar, like he'll talk about someone for 5 years if you don't like him. So, no, this was Gallagher, the real Gallagher, not Gallagher 2. I used to see the real Gallagher up until he died at the Comedy Store. He's like asking people for money and shit. I'm like, what? You sold out theaters for like a decade. How do you need money, man? I mean, some people, what up, Girth Brooks? I don't see you in here too much. Are you coming over from MLC? See? We're just doing a nice hour stream tonight in the Earlverse, nothing wacky. We're just chilling, talking about comics and ex-girlfriends and Louis Anderson making a sandwich in his kitchen. You're not going to get that on any other stream. Trust me on that one. But that's also probably why I only have 10 people in here. I mean, let's, keep it real. But you do get a very nice red background. Yeah, I mean, Steven Adler. I mean, when he asked me for $10 in the lobby of the Fay Ray building, I'm like, bro, you drummed on Appetite for Destruction and the EP that they released after Lies, which sold like a bazillion copies. And I think Guns N' Roses had a deal, kind of like the Motorhead deal, where they all got publishing. So can you imagine the publishing on Appetite for Destruction alone? I mean, that probably sells 100,000 units a year worldwide still. But, what are you going to do? Well, I don't know. I don't know, and I certainly don't care who's gay or not in the Dabbleverse. Well, no, what I did was I turned off the TV. So what you guys see is the commercials, so that's where the background changes. But if I do a stream this late again, at 9 p.m. when it's completely dark outside. This will be the new background. Thank you very much. Um, yeah, Steven Adler asked me for $10 once in the lobby of my Century City condo. I think I've seen it, Chris. Yes, Felix, you are the lucky 11. Ross Incognito in the house. We are a small but mighty stream, but we are fucking soldiers. And you will not be forgotten. The Earlverse stream is like when Jim Rome had his show to no listeners on Saturday nights in Santa Barbara on a college radio station. Well, now he doesn't, but back then in the 90s, I think Adler had, Adler's brother Jamie is a very smart guy, manager and concert promoter. So I'm sure, um, and he probably gets a merch cut, because if you notice, I mean, I've seen Guns N' Roses a few times. Any pictures are really of the old band. They don't really have a picture with Richard Fortus or the big, what's the big black drummer's name? Frank Ferrer, I think, Frank something, or the keyboard player. So, I'm sure that, and I believe Ace and Peter probably get a cut of merch, um, that just says Kiss on it. Certainly, they're not going to get a cut of Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer likenesses, but it's all a hustle, and that's when you need a manager to step in and be like, no, you guys, my clients have been out of the band, but you're using their likenesses. Show them the money, honey. By the way, tonight's Earlverse is sponsored unofficially by Bang Sourheads. I will be at the Comedy Store tomorrow night, 12:15 on the Button, Slick. Oh, yeah, you can rest assured, Tommy. I think Tommy and Eric are on retainer. I would guess when Kiss was on tour, they probably got anywhere from 5 to 10 grand a week. And Gene and Paul were probably making millions. Maybe not a week, but they were making a lot. I mean, when I went to the last Kiss show at the Hollywood Bowl, it was the merch was insane. I mean, like I'm still blown away by the amount of merch and just flying. The only other merch that I've ever seen top Kiss in terms of the system they had is Metallica. When I saw Metallica, because my friend Frankie was in the opening band Mammoth at SoFi, I mean, the merch line for Metallica, the line to get a fucking T-shirt was easily 2 hours. I mean, you had people missing the concert to get a T-shirt. And this was in the support of their album, I think 72. I'm not a huge Metallica fan, so there's something with the number 72 that everyone wanted. And it was unbelievable. You would go up there and you had like an A in large, and literally the guy or girl taking your credit card would just put their hand behind them, and like an elf would come and give them a 70, an A in large. I mean, they didn't even look. There was no communication. It was really unbelievable to watch. The greatest closer in Comedy Store history. I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, in the original room, Don Barris, he's the king of closing out the show. In the main room, I mean, I never saw Kinnison do it. So, I mean, obviously I know who he is, but I never saw him do it. I saw Brody close out the room a lot. Brian Holtzman is up there as well. And, now I'm the new Brian Holtzman. I basically close out every Saturday night show. And it's kind of a sign of respect because, it's the booker basically saying, hey, you're going to have to follow 7 famous comics. You're going to have to follow 1 or 2 newer comics who aren't going to probably do well, but they got managers and they're juiced in. We need someone to end the show strong. So a lot of people think it's kind of insulting to go on last. Like when I was dating a Shelley from Motorhead, she also worked concerts for Clear Channel and Live Nation. I think still does to this day. And I remember one Rose Bowl concert. It was Kiss, the Bee Gees, a couple acts like that. Christina Mulan, I think. And they put on William Hung last, the guy from American Idol, who was like basically had like I don't know, he had something going on. And literally, I'd never seen a stadium clear out faster. You know, the guy goes, "She bang, she bang." And I said to Shelly, "Why the fuck would you put that guy on last?" He said, "Well, you saw the crowd, right? We all want to go home." So going on last in the comedy world, or at least at the comedy stores, is they want the crowd to stay. So you got to put up someone who can do an hour, 45 minutes, at least a half hour, at the least. And you know, hopefully they stay and drink, and there we go. What up, Animal Mother? Yeah, Kiss does have their name on everything for sure. I don't know about that, Dr. Nova. I might have to disagree with you there. Um, I know. I mean, when you look at the Kiss S's, they are Nazi S's. Um, I mean, I'm not a huge Metallica fan. Well, the thing that sucked for me is they played Friday night, and that's when Mammoth opened for them. And then they played Sunday night. I think I forget who opened for them Sunday night. Five Finger Death Punch. Does that sound right? And so they did 2 set lists. I mean, I'll give them that. They could have just done the same set list. But my only 2 favorite Metallica songs are Whiskey in the Jar, which is a Thin Lizzy song, and Inner Sandman. Unfortunately for me, they did both those songs on Sunday night when I was in Santa Ana watching Mammoth headline their own show. So, yeah, I mean, Metallica, but I mean, their merch, I mean, I'm telling you, man, it was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. Like, just how locked in the t-shirt people were. I mean, they didn't look behind them for 1 second. Oh, you'd like a large, you'd like an A in large, and you'd like a D in small. They would literally just put their hands behind them while taking your credit card, running it, and then voila, 2 shirts appear. Earth sucks. What a boing, 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 pew, pew. Um, I'd like to throw in Rat there, AC/DC, if I could. Thank you very much. I mean, I was just never a Metallica guy. Um, I mean, Albert King, one of the great guitar players, spreading cheeks lately, Earl. I mean, I don't know what that means or sucks, to be honest with you. Hit the like button if you have not done so already. We will go about 15 minutes. And then you guys can all scurry over to MLC and do what you do. Are you ready to rock? It's good to see you back in action. People were concerned about you in the stream when you kind of disappeared for a hot minute. Um, I have the night off tonight. I will be working out after this. Um, I mean, I don't know about that. That's a tough one, Dr. Nova. I mean, I don't think. I mean, Albert King is a legend for sure, um, but I think in the rock world, I think Van Halen. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, Ace Frehley influenced a lot of people. Am I saying Ace Frehley is in the discussion with Albert King and Eddie Van Halen? But you can't deny that, you know, Kiss was so big for I would say any guitar player from the 80s and the 90s was influenced by Ace Frehley. Um, so uh, yeah, I mean you're probably right on that, but you know, they are great live. Yeah, get in there, get in MLC and just cause a ruckus. Promote my appearance on Monday. Um, so does he have any guests on tonight? I mean, I think he might have influenced Eddie to pick up a guitar, but he definitely didn't influence his playing. I mean, I don't think Ace could play much that Eddie could. MLC is Misery Loves Company. I will be on the stream Monday afternoon. I mean, Kiss was huge, you know, back in the day. I mean, from like I would say late '76 to probably late '78, maybe even into '79. They were the biggest band in the world. It ain't even fucking close. So I think Ace was definitely influential of, any guitar players, from the '80s to, like, probably, the '90s, bands like The Killers. You wouldn't think Dave Coulinan from The Killers was influenced, but I talked to Dave at the backstage at the Laugh Factory in San Diego, and you could tell Ace was, important to him. And, Weezer, you could definitely see, some influences, of Ace, in Weezer's music. Not every song, but like and you got to figure those kids were like my age, maybe a little younger than me. Rivers and um, the other guys in Weezer, like they grew up listening to Kiss. So, um, yeah, I mean, there were some fantastic. I mean, there's so many influential guitar players. Chuck Berry. Um, you know. Fats Domino, all the, Roy Clark, I mean, it just, what up, Ben Bones Jones? Yeah, I mean, I think Van Halen influenced, uh, really, I would say Van Halen and Randy Rhoads influenced any guitar player from the '80s, um, and probably guys in like Weezer and the Killers and Bowling for Soup, found any pop band was like a Kiss fan. Um, so, um, well, I mean, it depends on, I think, Kip and others talking in terms of influence. I mean, like I said, I mean, Ace Frehley is probably a top 10 guitar player in terms of influence, like making Slash pick up a guitar because he thought, Rock and Roll All Night was a great live album, and um, he just influenced a ton of people for that kind of sloppy, lackadaisical, Keith Richards style. I mean, Keith Richards influenced a lot of people. Um, yeah, Chuck Berry, yeah, you know, that video definitely made me look at him differently. Kiss me, baby. I can't. You smell like pee. Ugh. Um, Hollywood Ho that was, the great. I don't know how WCW got the rights to that, but, it's Ted Turner, baby. He's got the money, honey. Go about another, 12 more minutes, guys, so get those questions in and out, and then Daddy Man is gonna work out so he don't end up looking like John Pinette or Ralphie May. Ralphie was so fat, his real name was Ralphie May, June, and July. Boing! It's a little joke for you. Um, I was walking Lois today. I saw a black dude working at a tanning salon. I was like, "What the fuck? Hello." Um, I don't know. Ace was the few times I've seen Ace live, he's been pretty unfunny. Hey, how does Sinead O'Connor part her hair? She squats. Boing. I mean, get Ace Frehley on Kill Tony. That would be pretty funny if Ace Frehley did Kill Tony. He'd probably do it too. Those record sales ain't what they used to be, although I did like his last album, 10,000 Volts. Although that video for Cherry Medicine is pretty cringe. Yeah, Ace does live in his own world. But he gets some nice publishing. I mean, I don't feel too bad for Ace. Um, Vinnie Vincent, nobody knows. He's off the grid, and I don't know what he's up to be honest with you. He's in Nashville somewhere, but he I don't know, man. He's just a confused person. I think last I heard he was gonna release some new box set or whatever, and The problem is he's burned so many bridges with fans that nobody really believes or cares anymore, and it's too bad because Vinny was I mean, I don't know what he plays like now, a fantastic guitar player. I mean, could really play anything and a great songwriter for that genre of music. It would have been interesting, they say a lot of the first Vinnie Vincent Invasion album was basically material written for Animalize, Kiss's album after Lick It Up. But, I think that was Mark St. John's really only weakness, at least when he was in Kiss, was that he didn't seem to be able to write songs. And I think with Gene and Paul, Gene's off doing Runaway and Miami Vice, and I think Paul was porking Donna Smith, was it? Who's that blonde in Dr. Detroit? So I think, would have been, I mean, Mark St. John probably would have lasted a little longer if he could write songs, but I don't believe he could. Yeah, Donna Smith, and then a political consultant. William Zoom, always for the save. Always for the save. So I think Vinny probably, he was just a fucking maniac, man. But, Kiss and Vinny breaking up, it's like a breakup. When you ask a couple about their breakup, you get my side, her side, and then there's the truth. And that was really my sales pitch to Vinny about the documentary was, dude, you have never really gotten your side out, or to his manager at the time. I'm like, this is a way for you to finally get your narrative out. And the guy's like, yeah, that sounds great. It's 25 grand to interview him. I'm like, no one gets paid for interviews, bro, because it ruins the authenticity of the interview. So, I in my very brief time dealing, I can't even say I dealt with Vinny, but it was his manager at the time. It was like, okay, this is why you are in the position you're in. You're basically living in Nashville anonymously because no one wants to fucking work with you. And I was telling the manager, I'm like, dude, I'm one of the guys he burned, with the empty box set. I'm trying to help him because I'm a fan. Like, no one is going to pay him $25,000. So, Girth Brooks, we are only doing it for about another 7 minutes. So, thank you for coming. We've been a small but mighty group tonight. We're battling against the entity of MLC. There's only so much I can do. But yes, love you too, Big Bones Ben Jones. Ben is, I think, the furthest fan I have in the great world of Australia. So thank you, Ben, as always, for the support. There may be only 11 people in this stream, but you are all elite members of the Earl Soldiers. Hit the like button on your way out. I haven't seen the original Beetlejuice. A lot of people don't believe me when I say that. Of course, I want to support Comedy Store paid regular Michael Keaton, but I have not seen. I know, isn't that crazy? All the shit I've seen. I've seen Cobra 7,000 times, and I'm a big fan. My favorite Michael Keaton project is Mr. Mom. I saw that movie in Westwood, and that was the first time I kissed a girl on a date. Thank you, Jennifer. And my second favorite Michael Keaton movie is a movie that kind of went under the radar. I don't know if it was a hit or not. I don't remember how good it did at the box office, but Clean and Sober, also with one of my favorite 80s actors, kind of John Glover light, Luca Bercovici, who did say yes to doing the Inappropriate Earl podcast. But he lives in Dubai now. I think he owns a film company there, so we never were able to coordinate it. He was also in that, bicycle movie, was it American Flyers? With Ray Dong Chong and I believe Kevin Costner. He was also in Drop Zone with Gary Busey and, Wesley Snipes. I really loved Clean and Sober. Oh, yeah, I remember that movie. Honda, when the Honda with the Asian guy from, 16 Candles. American Flyers is good. You don't really hear about that movie, which is surprising given Kevin Costner was in it. But yes, Gung Ho, a great move, great cast. American Flyers. Uh, I mean, Michael Keaton, and he's been a working actor for 40 fucking years. I mean, Mr. Mom was 1983. So he's got, he is, and he's my favorite Batman. So and still killing it in roles. What was that pill thing he was? I think it was on Hulu. I watched. He was very good in that. I mean, he is a fantastic actor. But if you want like a real serious role of Michael Keaton, he's not doing shtick. Clean and Sober is a great. It's a different side of Michael Keaton. It's like Jim Carrey and well, I can't say in Truman Show he was, you know, he wasn't playing a variation of the Jim Carrey character, but Michael Keaton was incredibly. And I come from a family of addiction, so I've been to rehab many times to support family members, and I mean the world of rehab and those places you go off to get better. It's a very, very accurate portrayal of the people. I used to go to Cocaine Anonymous meetings at Cedar Sinai Sundays at 6:30. I mean, it's the hottest women on the planet. Or I don't know if it's still going, but that's how desperate I was to get laid. To get to get laid, and trust me, I did. I even got up a few times to speak. I was totally lying. I go, yeah, I have a problem. And I was just using phrases I'd heard on Miami Vice. By the way, I'm finishing up Hotel Cocaine, highly recommended on MGM. Michael Chiklis, Danny Pino, a couple other people I recognize. That's if you get MGM, which I get it on DirecTV, I think I had to pay 5 hooves extra. It's very good. It might be my favorite news show. I'm almost wrapping it up. Yes, thank you. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I mean, notification. But we had a pretty good show tonight, considering we're going up against the juggernaut of MLC, and that's all right. I don't look on YouTube when I want to go live and the energy hits. I just hit live now, and I do what I do. And when we do a nighttime stream, I think I've stumbled upon the new lighting I like. Yeah, I mean, it was just funny because I clearly didn't really look like a cocaine addict. I was pretty fucking jacked and healthy looking, but I mean, the women there, at these cocaine meetings, I won't say, but I saw several famous rock stars there and actresses and just tons of bimbos, who cocaine is a very expensive drug, at least back then it was, because the quality was so good. And, I was a good shoulder to lean on. And let's just say some nights I took care of business. Uh, I mean, funerals are great. I mean, my mom and dad's funeral, I mean, I had a girlfriend at the time, Anne, who I still speak with. Not every ex hates me. And there were some attractive women. Of course, they were probably all trying to fuck RFK Jr., but what are you gonna do? Yeah, well, now it's cheap, but back then you pay, you get what you pay for. I mean, I have plenty of friends who do it now. I mean, it's not my thing, but um, and it's so fucking dangerous. Like, I don't know who would do cocaine in this day and age, but they do. Um, And Animal Mother Earl pounded the booger sugar beaver. I did. That I did. Um, and then once I told them, "Hey, listen, I don't really do a lot of coke," they kind of lost interest because I know that's like the number one rule in the rehab world. You don't date other addicts, but in my mind, it's like, "Hey, I'm not really an addict." Oh, okay. See ya. All right, you kids. It's time for everyone in here to go to MLC. Tell Kevin I said hello. I don't think Kevin minded that we took 10 people from him. And I'm sure some of you are double dipping. If Faye Resick lived in my building on Century Park East and Olympic, the Merck Coke Shadow Company. I used to have a friend who worked in Shadow Company, General Peter McAllister. Don't try it, son. You're not that fast. The bulk of the heroin will be there Friday. Try anything. You'll have to speak to Mr. Joshua. Yeah, swell, Mr. Joshua. Fentanyl is everything too risky. Ha! In their mind, you manipulated them and took advantage of it. Yeah, I probably did. I'm embarrassed about some of the things I did to get laid back in the day. Like I used to go to King games in a suit, and the Forum Club was the place to go to. You didn't have to leave the Forum to go to a nightclub. The club was in the Forum, in the middle of the Forum. So I would go to the bathroom with about, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes left to go in the game. I'd put water in my hair, and I'd have a packet of LA, was it LA gel, LA looks, and I'd wait 5, 10 minutes in the bathroom, and then I'd walk out, and the guy at the Forum Club thought I was a hockey player. So I would walk in, and girls would be all over me. I mean, I was a real desperado back then. And I would tell people my name was Rudy Poshek, ex-Tampa Bay Lightning, New York Ranger. I mean, it's embarrassing now. Uh, Embarrassing then, but, it worked more ways than it didn't. Uh, well, I mean, I think AC/DC, now I get laid or whatever you want to call it based on my act and, the whole presentation of the leather pants, the custom leather jackets, the skin tight shirts, the custom made Nikes. I mean, I had a girl recently come up to me at the Comedy Store and go, "You have it, and I want it." Boing! And she got it. So that is it, guys. We'll probably do a stream tomorrow night. I'm going to my friend. Excuse me, this is not carbonated. Yeah, I mean, they all want money, honey. I mean, you know, and they all think the grass is greener on the other side of Earl. It ain't, brother. You might find a guy with more money, but he won't be as funny. You might find a guy with more money and is funnier than me, but he won't treat you as not good as I did. I could go on and on, but I think you guys get the point. And the sad thing is, most of them get the point too. It's too late. Earl Skakel over and out.